Happiness. Happiness depends, to some extent, upon external conditions, but chiefly upon mental attitudes. In order to be happy, one should have good health, a well-balanced mind, a prosperous life, the right work, a thankful heart, and above all, wisdom or knowledge of God. He who is wise does his best to overcome difficulties, but he smiles first, last, and all the time. There is no better panacea for sorrow, no better revivifying tonic than smiles. There is no greater power with which to overcome failure than a real smile. There is no more beautiful ornament one can wear than a genuine smile of peace and wisdom glowing on the face. The mind, by constant worries, grows old quickly and makes the body appear old and unhealthy. A smile that cannot be extinguished by any adverse financial, social, or physical condition helps to keep the body looking young with firm flesh, even if it becomes aged. You are the infinite, which has become the body. The body, as a manifestation of spirit, is the ever-youthful spirit. Happiness lies in making others happy, in forsaking self-interest to bring joy to others. The nature of all material things is impermanent, and that is thus foolishness to expect permanent happiness by clinging to material forms and objects. The proximity of happiness is as close as one's own self. It isn't even a matter of attaining, but only of lifting the soul-shrouding veil of ignorance. The very word attaining implies something one wants but does not have. This is a metaphysical error. Bliss is the irrevocable divine birthright of every soul. Tear away the intrusive veil, and at once there is contact with that happiness supreme. Spirit is happiness. Soul is the perfect reflection of spirit. Body-bound man fails to perceive this because his consciousness is distorted. Always think first of what you are about to do and how it will affect you. To act on impulse is not freedom, for you will be bound by the unpleasant effects of wrong actions. But to do those things your discrimination tells you are good for you is all freeing. That kind of wisdom-guided action makes for a divine existence. Then you find and reflect the image of God within you. Material things cannot be owned by anybody, for they must be left behind and given to others. We are only allowed the use of things. It shows a lack of wisdom to be possessed by material things. Just pray to be given the use of things that you need and be given the power to create at will what you need. Do not allow your happiness to be conditioned by what you have or do not have. Supreme happiness cannot be found in the world, but we need not run away to the jungle to seek Him who is the giver of all happiness. In this jungle of daily life, we may find Him in the cave of silence. Remember, the only man who is happy is the man who sits in the temple of silence and shuts out all storms or worries. Nothing can challenge the quietness of his soul. You do not need to leave earth's shores to put on wings. You must learn rather to be happy here and now, under all conditions, and consider others' happiness as part of your own joy. The Hindu scriptures describe the body as a product of nature with 6 defects of delusion. It is born, it exists, it grows, it changes, it decays, it is annihilated. Most human beings, nevertheless, expect permanent happiness from this impermanent body. Because of the precedence of the experience of material pleasures, the ego is unwilling and unable to conceive any of the higher states of happiness. Even heaven is often pictured as containing beautiful things that please the senses of vision, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. A place of glorified earthly enjoyments. It is all right to enjoy life. The secret of happiness is not to become attached to anything. Enjoy the smell of the flower, but see God in it. I have kept the consciousness of the senses only that in using them I may always perceive and think of God. My eyes were made to behold thy beauty everywhere. My ears were made to hear thine omnipresent voice. That is yoga, union with God. It is not necessary to go to the forest to find Him. Worldly habits will hold us fast wherever we may be until we free ourselves from them. The yogi learns to find God in the cave of his heart. Wherever he goes, he carries with him the blissful consciousness of God's presence. Surrendering to the demands of the senses does not satisfy them, but rather creates insatiable desires for further sense experiences. Sense pleasure is like a drink of hemlock, which, instead of quenching thirst, only increases it. Soul pleasure, though hard to attain, when once gained, is never diminished. It knows no satiety and yields ever new joys. And so, be happy and become happiness, for you are happiness. Practice happiness, and by doing so, empower yourself with a deeper understanding.